Love does not follow logic. In my last video, I told you guys about this emotionally unavailable guy that I fell in love with. If you haven't watched the video, have a look at that video. And ever since that happened, and from the last few months of reflection that I had, I've come to realize that love does not follow logic, and my idea of love has also changed. Let's talk about it in today's video. Before we start, if you would like to work with me one-on-one, or if you would like to join any of my monthly group coaching sessions, click the link in description. So before I met this guy, I had a list of values that I wanted my future partner to have. And in my head, it was more like black and white. Like if my person has all these values, I'll be with them. If they don't have these values, I'll not be with them. So simple, right? It sounds so simple. But that's not how it worked out. You know, when I was presented with a situation where I liked someone, it was such a tug of war between two sides of me. Like when I came across this guy, I was so pulled towards him that when I later came to know little by little that we had very different values, and you know there were so many differences, and the qualities that I was looking for in a partner was not there with this person. Like he wasn't emotionally available, he did not respect women, and even the basic qualities like spending time with someone, giving them proper attention and efforts, none of it was there. Like not even one single thing. If you're looking at me like, I get it, you know, even I was looking at me like that. Like, how come that this person doesn't satisfy any of the qualities that I want in a partner, but I still like him so much? And ever since a contradiction started inside me, like a part of me was like, this person is not for you. Like this person doesn't satisfy any of the values you want. And another part of me was like, but I like him, but I love him, you know. And even the word love, I refused to accept that it was love. Ever since I came to know that this person does not suit my expectations, but at the same time, I like him so much, I started looking for other labels. You know, it's really weird to call it love, right? We are not comfortable calling it love. Like, how can you love a person when they're not even giving you time? Like, how can you love them when they're not even just there for you? Like, they doesn't even care about you. They don't even, they don't even bother to think about whether their actions, whether their words would affect us. And even when you tell them that it does, they don't bother. Like, whatever. Like, how can we call it love when this person is not giving love in any manner? You know, it's just like one-sided. How can you call it love when this person is not even satisfying the basics of love, right? We are so uncomfortable calling it love, so we start looking for other labels. And I did the same thing too. Ever since I just came into this situation, I'm like, okay, this is not love. You know, I went into such a denial that this can't be love. Like, how can I love someone who is not even giving me time, like who doesn't even care about me? So I started looking at all the other options, like, oh, is this attachment? I used to read about attachment so much. Is it trauma bond? Is it a mother wound? Is it a father wound? Like, you want any label, all kinds of labels are available online. And is it infatuation? Is it obsession? Like, I used to look for labels. You know, I don't know, I guess we really like labeling things. It kind of gives us a sense of control of what's happening. So I was also doing the same thing. And you know, I even used to come across things like people would say that, oh, you need to respect yourself enough to not love someone like that. But you know, anytime I came across things like this, I'm like, I do respect myself. Like, none of this was sitting right with me. You know, none of the labels, none of the advice I saw online, none of that was sitting right with me. And then I finally came to accept that it was just love. You know, there's nothing else. Like, you know, I'm trying to run away from the word love, and I'm trying to look for some other word. Maybe it could make sense, right? Maybe it could make sense that why I like someone who is not giving me the stuff. And I know you guys might be thinking, oh, it could be attachment, it could be a trauma bond, it could be because of some past things. Like, I know you could be thinking that. I've thought that too, okay? But you know, it has to sit well with me inside. Like, I know we all take a lot of advice online, like these kind of labels, but it has to, you have to agree, right? Like it has to be right with your situation and your experience. And none of this sat right with me. Maybe for you guys, like attachment could have been right. Like when you saw that, oh, this is attachment, so I'm going to do this. Now I'm fine. The attachment is no longer there. Now, if that was the case, then fine. But I tried everything. None of it was fitting right in, and none of it felt like this is it. But then finally, when I came to realize that, okay, this is love, there is no other word that I can fit in, and there is no other label that I can find, and none of the other things kind of sat well with me, or like I couldn't agree any of those things. Because I know, right? Like I know what's happening inside me. So if someone comes and says that, oh, but you have to love yourself more, I do love myself more. But it's something else. Oh, it could be attachment. No. Like I read about attachment, I read about everything, but that's just not it. But when I finally came to this point where I was like, oh, maybe it's just love. Maybe I did have so much feelings for this person, and it's just love. I just have to accept it. And ever since I accepted that, it has actually become easy for me to kind of accept the whole situation that happened. And I finally made peace with the fact that, yes, I did love someone who didn't care about me or who did not reciprocate the same thing back. That I think that's the hardest part for all of us, where we just find it really hard to admit that we fell in love with someone who did not treat us well, or who kind of did not reciprocate the same kind of same effort. I guess we just have a weird connection with the word love. We just don't want that word to do the things that it does to us when we say it. It's going to take us as long as it goes until we accept that it is indeed love. Yes, I did love this person. Yes, but it did not work out. Yes, this person was toxic, so I had to leave. But yes, I did love the person, right? Now, from everything that happened and all of this understanding that I had in my head, I've read about love as well in many spiritual books. But when they said that love doesn't follow logic, like love is beyond measure, love is beyond definition, love doesn't make sense, I really couldn't agree with it. But after what happened in the last few years, now I do agree that love doesn't follow logic. It doesn't make sense. Sometimes we fall in love with people who are not what we were looking for. Like they're the polar opposites of the values that we have for ourselves. But we still betray ourselves and fall in love with them. When they hurt us, we still choose them. We are so quick to forgive. We miss them even if they broke our heart and left. But love is not here to make sense. It is here to transform us. It is here to show us parts of ourselves that we never knew existed. It demands us to grow and change. Like if you've heard all the words like trauma bond, infatuation, obsession, attachment, mother wound, father wound, oh, you don't love yourself enough, that's why you're falling in love with someone like this, all of it, and none of that sat with you, right? It's just time for us to just agree that it was indeed love. You loved them. It's okay to admit it. Now, this doesn't mean that if the other person is toxic, you have to go back to them because you loved them. It's okay to agree that you loved them and still choose that this person is not good for you and you're going to leave them, but that love you had for them transformed you. You can very gracefully accept that transformation and move on with your life with all the lessons that gave you. Now, trust me, guys, I did this for such a long time. Like 2 years, 3 years, I did this where I refused to call it love. It did not bring me any comfort. And finally, when I just accepted that it is what it is, like it is indeed love. And now it feels really light, like even if things had fallen apart, it just feels light that, okay, it is what it is. Now, this is who I am. It did bring a lot of transformation in me, which I've talked about in my last video as well. It did change me as a person. And when I look back, I can really see that the kind of feelings, the strong feelings that I had for that person, whether it changed that person or not, I don't know, but it definitely changed me. The change is just so much, that in the last 1-2 months, I'm just being bombarded with a lot of realizations about myself and how I have changed. Now, yes, there were certain things about me that I changed to keep the person, which I don't agree that we should be doing. We mistakenly do that, but it's not good for us. We have to just be ourselves. We should not lose ourselves. But at the same time, there's a different kind of transformation that happens, which happens to you. Like, you don't do it, but it kind of happens to you. So we need to understand the difference between these two. For example, because I wanted this person to kind of like me, or to be with me, there are certain things I adjusted. Like, one of that is like giving up on some of my values or picking fights. There are certain things I did because I wanted this person. So that came from me. It was more like me trying to control an outcome. Okay, that is usually not good for us. We sometimes unknowingly do it, but that's not really going to work. But on the other side, there are things that just happened to me, like a transformation that happened to me. Like, for example, when I look back, I'm able to see that a certain worldview of mine has changed. I've gotten exposed to a certain kind of world because of this person, not because he asked me to, but because brought that part out from me. Like, that part was inside me and it came out because of this person, because he acted like a catalyst. So there was certain things like that that came out of me, but I wasn't really aware of it, in the last few months. It really needs a lot of reflection for us to see where things have gone wrong, what kind of things we've adapted, what is good, what is bad. So in the last few months, I've been doing a lot of reflection, and I'm able to see that there were a lot of transformation that happened. And I want you all to maybe take a moment and, if possible, do the reflection. Like, see how your relationship, your love has transformed you. If you guys are in a really good, healthy relationship where both of you are still together, this still applies. But what happens is that you both love each other, right? So the love will transform both of you, and both of you will change and grow in the relationship. And the more you guys adapt to that change, the more healthier your bond becomes. But sometimes what happens is, the love that exists, sometimes it's just one-sided, and it only changes the one person. The other person is just like, they're not ready to change, they're not ready to make the improvements needed for the relationship. So this one person is just being transformed while the other person just stays the same, and then eventually it falls apart. Now, why does this happen? Because love does not come from it comes from your heart. Okay, and heart, like everyone says, is dumb, is so dumb. It is true, it is dumb. Your heart does not calculate the risk. Okay, it does not look at a person and be like, oh, they have this, they have that, this satisfies, this criteria is satisfied, let's go ahead with this person. Your heart does not do that. What does that is your mind, right? And your heart does not look for compatibility, or thinking whether this is going to work or not only happens from your mind. But your heart, sometimes you have to pull it back because it's going in all the wrong directions. Anyways, it looks for connection, right? It thrives on emotions. When it comes to your heart, it's not give and take, it's not a transaction. It just knows how to give. Like, it just wants to give. But you might be thinking, like, if that's the case, then why aren't they giving anything? Because they don't love you. If they love you, they will. Like, wherever there is love, there will be a lot of giving. As simple as that. If love exists, then there will be a lot of giving that will flow from the person. And two people in love, both of them will be giving each other. But when the giving exists just from one person alone, but the other person is just receiving, love does not exist with that person. Sorry, I use a different word wherein I said they don't love you. Sorry, that's not the case. That, again, I know it breaks your heart to hear that. It broke my heart to hear that as well. But the thing is, it's not that they don't love you, but they have no love in them. They have no love to give. Like, people who continue to take, they take because they have nothing to return. So then this is going to fall apart very soon. Now, with all of that, I have come to a conclusion that love does not follow logic, love does not make sense. Love is indeed a strong feeling that can make you do stupid things. Now, again, that doesn't mean that we have to go behind toxic people, emotionally unavailable people. Sometimes, unfortunately, we fall in love with people like that. But, that love will definitely 100% transform you. Take the transformation, but don't take that person. Okay? If that love is coming into your life to transform you, let it transform you. But let's not go behind people who are toxic, who are emotionally unavailable. Leave that person and keep the transformation. With that, I'm at the end of this video. I'll see you guys in another video. Take care.